So, okay, I have not scripted anything, so this is just gonna be a long stream of consciousness video, just all in one shot, because I do not have the time to edit a video, and I just want to talk to you, though. Like, I want to share things, but I just don't have time to edit a video. So whatever happens on this video, just is being included. We'll see how it goes. So, I just want to talk about this last year, and I just need to do like some reviewing. I want to talk about some artwork. I want to talk. I want to share. I want to show you things. I want to let you in. I want to open up this room that I live in, which is also my studio. So let's get into it. This is my last night here. I'm going on a trip tomorrow, and I'm not going to say where I'm going, but I'm not going to be back for a whole month. So, let's go. Let's do it. Okay. Before we do anything, we have to do a little ceremony, obviously. Duh. This is very important. And I have the herbs here. Let me get the candles 1 second. So, okay. Let's, oh shit, I have another yellow. That's okay, you know what? I have 3 orange candles. I have 4 orange candles. I have so many orange candles. I think we can use this. And let's see what herbs we're gonna use. So the purpose of this ceremony is opening up the next pathway. Basically, it's kind of like getting rid of some blockages, I think. Let's see, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of reflecting on this last year and what it was in different ways, like ever since the solstice, and especially like mostly yesterday and today and on solstice. And it's actually been really great. The review of this year has been very illuminating, and I also feel that I have developed a newfound ability to look at things in a more rational light, which is good. It's that masculine I associate being rational with masculinity, which I think makes sense. But this over here. But yeah, and it was really great. Like, I had a business meeting. I've reflected a lot on my own work, my art. I had a spiritual new moon ceremony last night, which was a trip, and it was amazing. It was totally amazing. And I just realized that I'm not sure if this audio is recording. Hang on 1 second. Stand by. Okay, it seems that we are back. All right, we're rolling again. So there was just an issue where briefly, I had to actually delete a bunch of stuff from my desktop so that I would be able to record this video. So I just realized that like so much of the stuff on my desktop was trash. So I basically trashed most of my work from this last year, or a lot of work from this last year that sucked and was of no use to me. So that's good. That was a strange serendipity. Okay, but I literally don't know what I was talking about. But okay, so when I was at brunch this morning with my bestie, we made a nice brunch. We were talking and she asked me, what are some of your favorite memories from 2024? And I was like, and she was like, wow, the fact that you have to think about it. And then she said, she was like, you could not pay me to relive 2024. And I agree completely. I feel very much the same way. It's making me feel like this shortness of breath, like I'm out of breath. But you know what? I feel like 2024 was all about like gathering data, and this very much applies to my career. This very much applies to the art that I've been making. A lot of it had to do with data collection, which is not always like the most fun, but it's okay. You know, I was thinking also that in the span of your overall career, like, we just put so much emphasis on time frames that don't always make sense. And I feel like if you have a career for 20 years, say, or 10 years, or however long, there's going to be some times when you're just gathering data, or you're just, oh God, my passport. Doing whatever. I don't know what I was. Sorry. You're gonna have some times where you're just, I guess, collecting things, but then again, you don't know how much time you have, and you have to make the most of your time, and you can't let your energy leak into things that it has no business being in. And so that's like, if you do that and then you do certain things, you are kind of guaranteed success. That's what I think. So I don't know, but let's okay, it looks like we're rolling again. Okay, we are rolling again. Welcome back. More things had to be deleted, and the entire desktop has almost been completely purged. So that's good. Fine. Let me get to it before I waste more time. I'm not going to overthink this too much. I just want to think about so we're going to do a ceremony before I start talking about the artwork that I want to talk about, because it's important to, I don't know, I just want to like set an intention, and I also just want to, what's the word? Bless this crystal that I have, like do a prayer for it. It's a citrine that I just bought today. This is like my bestie Kadisha said, you could not pay me to relive 2024. And as a result of 2024, I have started buying crystals and being a crystal bitch. And I'm grateful that that has happened. It was only $3, okay? Like, it's fine. Let's not overthink it. But yeah. So my main, like, not wish, kind of the foundation of everything that I want is prosperity. And that also extends to my artwork. And that's not just about making money. It's more of a general current, I guess. Like, prosperity it's the cup that's running over. It's the And that applies to your love life, and like it applies to your finances, obviously. It can apply to like all parts of your life. Just having like a rich life. Not being like a billionaire, you know, but the richness of life, like the juiciness of life, the juiciness of the fruits, the blessed fruit, the sacred fruit. So I got this crystal so that it would help me attract friends who truly want the best for me. And I just need some oils that I made. So, okay. I'm gonna carve it into the candle. Prosperity. The funny thing about like becoming something is that becoming something new, you have to actually be it before you are that thing. Prosperity. You know what I mean? Like, you have to act like you're already whatever it is that you're trying to be. That's how you actually manifest, I guess. And I think I've been having a hard time with that. But I also did realize that, like, I think what I dislike so much about like all the manifestation talk on the internet and so on is that it makes it seem like you have to be in like a super ultra positive, happy, free flowing state all the time, when you actually don't. Like, you still have to feel all the human emotions that you're gonna feel. You can't just like suppress everything, because then you're not really like getting the full picture. And also, like, we're just humans, we just go through hard times sometimes. So what herbs are we gonna put? I feel like this spell is gonna be good as it is. I'm gonna put some oil though, just a little bit. So I made 2 oils recently. So, you know what's funny, actually? I've been working at this one place, and I've been basically, a lot of my life has been in this one neighborhood for like years, like many years, at least 6 years. And recently, I always used to just do my spells with dollar store stuff and stuff that I would find and have in the kitchen and whatnot. And then recently, I just had the desire to like buy these certain types of candles and things like this. And I found that there's a shop that sells all of this stuff literally in my neighborhood. And I had never been there. And like, it's so easy for me to go there, and it's not expensive. It's like, these candles are relatively cheap. As they should be, they're just candles. Oh, I forgot the other oil. And I don't know, it's just so funny how like that turns out sometimes. So I'm putting so I went there and I also got some herbs, and I made an oil for love and an oil for money. And these are the 2 areas in which I've been having the most of my problems for a while now, like a few years, even before that, to be honest, but less so with the money. not that there hasn't been good times, but these have been my main areas of like difficulty, and these are actually very similar energies. And so like this woman that I consulted with, she told me that, you know, if you're having problems in one of these, in money or love, you're probably having like double problems in the others. So that really checks out. Definitely checks out. I am just about to start the ceremony, and then we can begin. And like, this is very much, you're gonna see why we're doing this, obviously. So this is how it looks, and I feel like truly the only thing that has gotten me through this last year, the only things are making art and God. These are the two. Friends, helpful people, obviously, but if it weren't for those things, I truly don't know where I would be. So let's light it. Tilt it so you can see. I'm just gonna stop the phone recording. It's not. Okay, we haven't even, this is like 20 minutes of footage. This is just how I am, guys. Take it or leave it. I do really need to be more organized. What can I say? But like I said, I'm leaving the country tomorrow, actually. And the thing is, like, this is the night before a quantum leap, quite literally. So I feel like I just need to document everything. Like, I just need, like, a record of all the stupid little things I'm doing, because they're actually not that stupid and little. And yeah, so that's why we're doing this. This is just, light this candle. Okay. I think we need some rose petals in here. Just a couple. I'm too Venusian not to have rose petals, rosebuds. Let me show you. I'll do 5 because 5 is about change. And yeah, so the citrine. So we really want to call to, like, it's really like an important time for women to actually rise up and prosper. It's very important for us. And it really feels like this coming time period, whether it's this year or however long it lasts, is the rising of divine feminine and the goddess, basically. She's reclaiming her throne, which is her rightful place. It's her place to be. So that was definitely... Okay, so let me talk about some of the key things from this year, because there was a lot of major changes that happened in the things I was drawing, and I feel like it's just so different from last year. I definitely see hints of it starting in last year, but I feel like last year was setting the stage. And so how should I do this? How should I start? So last year, I have a number of pieces here, and some of them are from this year, some of them are from 2023, and I just want to show you the, like, I don't know, I just want to show you, like, how the themes are different, basically. So when I was, there was one story that I heard sometime near the beginning of this year that really changed everything for me. And I'll tell you what it was, but it really changed, it really came through in a lot of the drawings I was making. And as you know, I switched, as you probably know, I previously had a more male character, even though I think even in when he's the most central, there's always like a more feminine touch, which makes sense. I know the lighting is bad, but I had been feeling this itch, which really intensified towards the end of 2023 and like December into January, to open up the Pandora's box of just basically being a woman, because that's something that I hadn't felt ready to do yet, but it was necessary. And so that started happening, and I think it also was very much mirrored in my spirituality and the things that I was learning and studying. And all of it kind of ties back to one story, one foundational story, which we all know. We all know this story. We are all probably familiar with it. It's not part of every culture or foundational to every culture by any means, but it's very important. It really shaped us as a society, and it was one myth. And hang on a minute. I'm just listening to the stairs. Someone's coming down the stairs. It's fine. I don't know why I'm concerned about this. There's a myth that we've all been told, and what I actually want to tell you, though, is the myth of the myth. The myth, the Pandora's box of the myth, like the myth that needs to be retold, that was rewritten. And in case you haven't guessed, it is the story of Adam and Eve. It's the story of Adam and Eve and how they and Lilith, the third party in this story who we're usually not told about. When I was doing my show back at the end of September, this man stopped by and he was looking at like all my drawings that I had there together, and like looking at them all at once, I could see like the same kind of female figure in different ones. And I mean, it makes sense because in some of them it's the same character, but not in all of them. But she was like very present, and he was looking at them and he was like, it's funny, some of them look like Lilith and some of them look like Eve. And I was like, what? Like, how did you get to that? And he was like, oh, you know, I can tell when someone is spiritually reaching for something. And he was like, yeah, I used to be really into, you know, occultism and stuff like this, but now he's a Christian, which was very interesting. And I didn't really have a chance to ask him about it, but I'm curious about that, about how he made that transition. But anyway, I digress. And there's just like, this is such a can of worms that I don't know how to tell it. I don't know how to tell it. It just like really burst something open inside me when I heard a different version of the story of Adam and Eve. Because, okay, what is the myth that we all know? Eve was made from the rib cage of Adam. She was made to be his submissive wife. They lived happily forever in the Garden of Eden, naked, you know, eating all the fruits, fucking all the time, just paradise. They were in paradise in innocence too. And then one day in the orchard, sorry, a snake comes to Eve and it tells her, sorry guys. And it tells her, to eat the apple. And so she eats the apple, and then she knows things that she's not supposed to know, etc. And then that's the tree of knowledge, and it was evil, and it was a horrible sin, and she should never have listened to the snake, and she should never have eaten that apple because God said not to. Interesting, why did he say not to? And whatever. And so then Adam and Eve are now cast out of the Garden of Eden because they've disrespected God, and they are permanently scarred by the sin that Eve committed. And moreover, they have a constant nagging guilt and sense of inadequacy over the fact that they are human beings. And these are the two people from which all humans are allegedly descended. So, but, like, what actually happened? Like, who was that snake? Like, who was that snake? That snake that came to Eve? Who the fuck was that? It's, like, there's a snake. Where is it? This is the snake, right here. And then what happened after she ate the fruit? This happens. And so I always thought that Eve was the only wife of Adam. Adam never had any other wives. They were made for each other, whatever. Not so. Adam actually had another wife before Eve. That wife's name was Lilith. Lilith was very different from Eve. Lilith preferred being on top, and Adam preferred to do missionary because he wanted to be dominant over her. He wanted to be the man. He wanted to be in charge. And Lilith was like, no, I am gonna be like, I'm not going to be under a man. It feels better for me to be on top. I have more control. I feel more powerful this way. Like, you can't suppress me like this. And so she left Adam because clearly he couldn't handle her. And she went and found another husband. And then God came along, and Adam was so sad. It was, probably feeling sorry for himself. And God was like, okay, let's make you another woman, another wife, but we'll make her, lesser to you. We'll make her more submissive. We'll take the bone from your body. We will create a more submissive woman to serve you. And so that's how Eve was created. But Eve was still Eve. She was still a woman of her own. She still had her own mind. She still had her own desires, her own passions. And so Lilith saw what was happening and wanted to break Eve out of this jail, this paradise, which was actually a jail, because they were told that there was no life beyond the Garden of Eden, that there was no, without God, without the full approval of God, they were nothing. Adam and Eve were nothing. And this is not true, because there were actually other people, there was other places they could have gone. But basically Lilith saw that Eve was kind of imprisoned, and that she just didn't know what she needed to know to get out of the jail. And so Lilith, in some versions, Lilith came to Eve as the snake. She transformed herself into a snake and came to Eve, or she sent the snake to charm Eve and tempt her and whatnot. And she was basically just like, hey girl, there's a lot of stuff you need to know. Here's a taste of knowledge. Here's a taste of power. Here's a taste of desire that is just yours and nothing to do with your husband or the man God who created you. And once Eve tasted that bite, once she bit into that fruit, there was no going back. There was no going back. She had been asleep, and now she was woken up, and she could not go back to sleep. And naturally, in all the stories from the time that Judaism began, and, in all the Abrahamic religions, I believe. I don't know about Islam, if Lilith is mentioned in the Quran. I actually don't know. I was told that she was not, but in Judaism and Christianity, Lilith is a demon. She's considered a demon, an evil demon spirit who was so horrible to Adam, and oh my God, she's evil and she did this and she did that and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, Lilith existed before Adam, before God, before any of these stories. In the lands where the Abrahamic religions originated, Lilith had been a goddess previously or something like that. She was a deity that was worshipped, and her thing is being independent, being strong, standing up for herself. She has very strong boundaries. She embodies the dark feminine qualities of just knowing your own self and not letting yourself be pushed around by a man or by anyone. She was also very sexually powerful. She was able to use all of this sacral energy for her own benefit. She wasn't about to let anyone steal that from her. She wasn't going to be the source for someone who didn't deserve it. And she was not afraid of the snake. Oh, lights went out. That was freaky. She was not afraid of the snake. Lilith is the mistress of snakes. The snake is the thing we fear. It's the darkness. It also has a lot to do with sexuality. And to be quite honest, despite all the snakes, I'm not ready to talk about the snakes yet. That's a whole other video that I just don't want to get into today. But my main point is Eve. Eve and Lilith, and the lie of the story of Adam and Eve. Just, like, I don't think we can underestimate what this has done to us psychically on a collective level. And also that myth, the first version that we talked about, the myth of Adam and Eve that we're all told, where Eve is submissive and she's secondary and God made her, and the guilt and the fruit, and oh my God, the snake is so evil, oh my God, you shouldn't eat that fruit, then you're gonna know something. I think really just what it goes to show is that God is not the only God. If God didn't want you to know of another power or any other forces or any knowledge beyond him, that means God is an insecure, jealous little bitch. And why? Like, if there really was only one God, God wouldn't be so afraid of you discovering other knowledge, because everything is God, because God is supreme. So why does God have to be jealous like this? But I think that we can't underestimate how foundational that myth is to the society that we live in. And I think learning about this, learning that Lilith is who she is, and learning that she's actually a goddess and not a demon, was one of the, like, just one of the most important changes that has ever happened in my entire thinking, because it just changed. This light just went out. That was freaky. The name of Lilith is powerful indeed. First of all, reverence to the queen. She is the queen. She is we're conditioned to be like Eve, to be submissive and obedient. And they don't want us to be like Lilith. Obviously. The patriarchy doesn't. So, screw that. So I feel like, you know, learning about these goddesses and just deconstructing all of these myths is like eating the fruit. That's like... like, eating the fruit is just so symbolic. It's so delicious. Like, it's so beautiful. Apple, like a nice crisp apple. I want more fruit in my life. I want more fruit. And I have a lot. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for all the juicy knowledge that I've learned this year. So that's the story and the myth and stuff that I wanted to talk about. This is what I've been working on and thinking about, and this was kind of my big thing from this year, my big theme. And I think it's gonna continue to develop. I mean, we'll see how it goes in the next year. I think I definitely do need to do some things differently. I don't entirely know what they are. My heart's desire right now is to draw more, really, but also to draw more slowly and make pieces more slowly, or just more, yeah, actually more slowly. That's really the only thing. And everything in the universe has been telling me to slow down lately. And I have not listened. I do not like to slow down. That is the last thing that I want to hear, generally. But it is often the thing that I need, because rushing, and it's just not a good vibe. It's not a good way to approach things. So I don't know what that's going to look like exactly in terms of structure. I'm working on that now, but I'm also just working on this quantum leap that is happening tomorrow into another part of the world. So I should probably go because I need to finish packing. It's 1:46 a.m. It's the first day of 2025. And we have this beautiful candle that is now burning down, halfway down. Oh, fireworks. I hear the fireworks. So thank you for listening to me. If you have... Oh shit, I blew out my candle by accident. Oh my god. You're not supposed to blow out candles. I don't know why. You're supposed to snuff them. Oh my god. If you've been listening for this long, if you have somehow, by some miracle, watched this video to the end, thank you. This has been the most chaotic video I've ever made. That's not true. This is one of the least chaotic videos I've ever made. So what does that tell you? Anyway, I wish you the most prosperous new year, filled with art and love and whatever it is that you desire. Goodbye for now.